name is Kelsey Tillis, and today I'm going to be presenting New York's Marriage Equality Act. Alright. The act was not passed by New York legislature until June of 2011. This law states that marriage is a fundamental right, and same-sex couples should have the same access as other couples to protections, responsibilities, rights, obligations, and benefits of civil marriage. The act also states that its intent is to ensure that both same-sex and opposite-sex couples are treated equally in all respects of the law. Before this law, New York had passed same-sex legislation in 2006, 2007, and 2009. The Marriage Equality Act passed their state Senate by a vote of 33 to 29 and was signed by their Governor Cuomo the same day, and then it went into effect 30 days later. At first, New Yorkers were skeptical of the new legislation and the effect that it would have on their economy, but reassurance came from looking back at prior economic predictions made in past legislation. There was a predicted gain of $210 million in the first 3 years of the 2009 legislation. And an estimated $16 million gain in city revenues in the first year alone. In August of 2011, a report stated that the Marriage Equality Act generated $259 million for New York revenue in its first year alone. New York's economy is flourishing, and the rest of the country could be reaping these benefits as well if similar legislation were to be passed. In 1996, the federal government passed the Defense of Marriage Act that stated that marriage was explicitly defined in federal law as a union of one man and one woman. Since the passage of DOMA, 8 federal courts have found the act unconstitutional, but there are still many states that uphold the act with little or no regard to individual freedoms that the U.S. citizens are granted. Of our 50 states, there are only 6 states that allow same-sex marriage. Those states are Connecticut, Iowa, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New York, and Vermont. Many other states have laws against civil unions or bans that do not recognize same-sex marriages as a civil marriage. As the years have gone by, though, support has increased with every passing year. The Washington Post has conducted a poll over the past 9 years tracking the support and opposition of same-sex marriage. As you can see by the chart, the support for same-sex marriage has risen from 37% in 2003 to 52% in 2012, whereas opposition has gone down from 59% to 43%. The shift towards legalizing gay marriage can also be seen state by state in this map that was published just May of this year. The map depicts that 6 states where same-sex marriage is accepted, 3 states that accept civil unions and domestic partnerships, and also the states that offer some protection for same-sex couples. This map still shows that a majority of the states do not recognize same-sex marriage, but I believe that as time passes, the fight for the basic civil right increases, the number of anti-gay states will decrease. The support for same-sex marriage has increased dramatically over the past decade and will continue to do so as our country heads into the future. From famous movie producer Steven Spielberg to the New York Rangers hockey player Sean Avery, the support of well-known celebrities is becoming endless. President Obama even threw his hat into the ring with the Democratic Party behind him and said in one of his speeches that he is in favor of same-sex marriage and gay rights. Many celebrities have separate campaigns that they fund in support of the lesbian, gay, bi, transgender movement. Famous companies such as Nike and Microsoft are also joining the movement. In June of 2012, 30 leaders who are actively advocating for the LGBT equality in sports came together at the Nike World Headquarters for the first ever Nike LGBT Sports Summit. The goal of this groundbreaking event was to create a team game plan for ending homophobia and discrimination in athletics. World-famous coffee company Starbucks also supported the movement as well by celebrating National Marriage Equality Day. Starbucks has a Pride Alliance Partner Network group, which is one of the largest employer resource groups for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender employees in the U.S. The company also offers comprehensive health benefits for domestic partners. Separate from the famous advocates, there are also many small organizations that advocate for gay rights, such as the Freedom to Marry organization. The main argument that detractors of same-sex marriage claim is the reference to the Bible and that the act is a sin, and that also is why there are laws against it. This argument would be valid if our whole system of government was based on the Bible and Christianity was the only religion practiced in the United States. That is the thing, though. There are countless religions all over the country, and to say that our laws are based on Christianity and the Bible would go against all other religions practiced in the United States. Does that mean that their religions are not as important? This is why we have separation of church and state. These people are being denied a civil right, and it is my belief that what same-sex couples are facing now is minority discrimination and also a violation of their personal freedoms. Looking at our country as a whole, homosexuality has become more acceptable in society and will only gain support as the fight grows stronger. The benefits that opposite-sex couples receive should be extended to same-sex couples, seeing that the only difference in their relationship is their gender. Also consider the number of children who could be adopted and potentially saved by same-sex couples, since it is harder for those couples to procreate. You couldn't already tell, I am a supporter of same-sex marriage for many reasons. I strongly believe that the government has no right whatsoever to tell us who we can and cannot love or choose to spend our lives with. Not allowing gay couples to marry is discriminating against them just because they are different. We are all different, and if we were to judge everyone on their differences, let's face it, the country would probably suck. Eventually, we would all conform to what we would be told is normal, and we would lose the things that make us who we are, the individuals that we are. And lastly, think about how you would react if you found out that a close friend or relative had confided in you and told you that they were gay. They are still the person that you know and love, right? Would your view change because of your attachment to that individual? It's really easy to think one way about a situation, but when you become a part of the situation, your whole perspective can change in a matter of seconds. Thank you for your time.